Clive Barker Podcast Audio Commentaries.
Thanks to your generous donations to our Kickstarter funding campaign, Clive Barker Podcast presents Fundraiser 3.
Hell on Earth.
All right, here we are. This is our, once again, we're back doing an audio commentary, our second to last bad movie, right? Clive Barker's The Plague.
Yeah, it's more like Clive Barker presents The Plague. It's not really a Clive Barker story.
Yeah, exactly. And, but you have to, if you're searching for it, you have to type Clive Barker's The Plague, because there's some other movie called The Plague that's totally different.
Ah, yeah. Gotcha.
So we have it paused where it says Sony Pictures Home Entertainment and Clive Barker present. So if you're following along here and watching the movie with us, that's where we're going to sync up. I'm watching it on iTunes, and I was only like 2 seconds in, so it was the very, very first thing that I saw. But I mean, it could be different depending on what video release you have.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Who wants to count down?
I can do it.
All right.
All right.
So let's do this. You have it paused, so when I say 3, you unpause.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, unpause.
Here we go.
All right.
The first thing that struck me watching this is that this music sounds like the Night of the Living Dead 1990 remake music.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
The composer for this movie, it was a very short name on the IMDb page. It just said Sheekl. Shekl, and then I found out that is Paul Sheeky or something, and he's a composer. I found him on SoundCloud. You can probably find him as well under his name Sheekl. I didn't like that soundtrack too much. I think the soundtrack is a little too minimalist for this movie.
It really contributes to the overall problem with this movie, that it's so underspoken and boring, and I guess it's like there's just not a lot happening and everybody's whispering to each other all the time.
Oh, yeah. And these opening credits, they're a little too simple as well. I would have liked to see something better than just these red on black credits.
Well, and it's supposed to look like chalk on a chalkboard, but then why do you make it red? That
Yeah. I guess
I'm
it's
not
supposed to be
even
like
sure.
blood, or they wanted to represent it to be like blood or something.
Yeah, I guess.
Something like this could have been used to open with news footage, like what we see playing in the background in some scenes that would show us the world without children, or a montage of abandoned parks.
Oh, yeah, that'd have been cool.
Yeah, or even streets
Bill
full of
Butler.
people all over a certain age to show how the population is aging. So 2 minutes of credits on black background.
Yeah.
That's the
There's
first
Anthony
thing.
DiBlasi, who is also known for the movie Dread.
Mm-hmm.
He's an executive producer along with Clive Barker.
There were a lot of producers in this movie, man. 13 or 14.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I was getting
the
a phone call.
IMDb page, and it was just. I even listened to the early parts of the commentary, and they were like, "I didn't realize there were so many producers on this movie."
Right.
The guys that were talking on it.
And
Hal Masonberg.
yeah, there's a commentary track on the DVD that I watched that has deleted scenes in a commentary track. The commentary track had like Joshua Close and Brad Hunt, I think.
Yeah.
And the editor of this movie, Ed Marks. So the director was not available for the commentary track because apparently the director has certain issues about this movie. But we'll get into that later.
I think the movie is, well, the director of photography for this movie is Bill Butler. He shot some really great films, such as Jaws, which is my favorite horror film of all time, and Grease, Rocky II, and Rocky IV, among many others. But the film, I think, is really got it has some wonderful shots in it, but it's just, this movie is, like you said, it just kind of just moves at a snail's pace.
Yeah.
It's just too bad that Ed Marks, the editor of this movie, who was in the commentary track, he seemed like a guy who was less than likable. They keep doing digs at the director and James Van Der Beek throughout the whole commentary track. And I was looking at Ed Marks's curriculum. He was involved with movies such as Hatchet 2, Hatchet 3, Zombex, Zombievers. He's co-editor on that one. Jeepers Creepers 1 and 2, I think. Just movies that are not very good. I mean, Jeepers Creepers 1 is okay. I like it.
2 is not good at all.
No.
Also, the way that they shoot the interiors of buildings without showing people going into them makes it look like a TV movie.
Yeah, good point. I had that written here on my notes as well, that sometimes the lighting and the editing in this movie kind of reminded me of a TV movie.
Yeah, like they're always in a set, and it's never a believable building that they're in.
For example, here in this scene, that waiting room should have a lot more people there.
Yeah, and it doesn't even look like a waiting room.
I understand they wanted the effect of the reveal of the hallway, but all those people, there should be more people in that waiting room. Yeah. There's a lot of appearance. So, and this is going to be the ex-wife of our protagonist.
Yeah. Yeah, and
who doesn't get he's not introduced. I don't understand the way they're setting up the story and all, but you're introduced to these characters without the main protagonist.
Right.
Doesn't show up in
he shows up later.
Yeah.
She says she's going to see if she can get him a bed, but there's people all over the hallways holding their kids on the floor. I'm pretty sure there's no bed available at that hospital.
And actually, this hospital looks like an elementary school.
Yeah.
It could be.
It probably could have been the same location they shot most of the stuff they did later on in the movie.
They shot this in Winnipeg in July of 2005, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Clive Barker did mention in an interview that they were going to shoot this in Louisiana in the spring of 2005, but I think that later became Winnipeg in July of 2005.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, this really had me stoked for the movie when they all start spasming. I think this was put in the story so their muscles wouldn't atrophy. They would.
Right, yeah, that's what I was just thinking about, too. And that's a cool idea. But you know, there are some neat ideas in this movie, totally lost by how dull it is.
Yeah, I think it adds to the moment. I mean, at this point, and until the moment where they get stuck in that broom closet in the hospital, I was actually thinking the movie was okay. I was giving it a chance and seeing where it was going. But yeah, this is creepy.
Yeah. I think it'd be distressing for a parent to see their child,
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, the white eyes. Really creepy.
So creepy. 10 years later.
I don't like the music, the soundtrack there with all its little piano.
Yeah, sounds like 12-tone.
Yeah.
Well, we're back at Dawson's Creek.
Yeah, why is he walking all that way?
Also, this stuff should be in the opening credits, really. All these shots of James Van Der Beek going.
It's like the editor
parks that are abandoned.
The editor was inept, and why isn't that book in his bag? I mean, it's like it's shoving it in your face.
It's like poetry. It's going to rhyme with the last scene of the movie.
Yeah. I never got the point of him, symbolic thing, other than the point of it being revealed, how it connects.
It seems like.
But other than that, I thought it would be something to do with the story. But
seems like the editor didn't understand either, because this movie doesn't really have much to do with the Grapes of Wrath.
No, not at all.
So I'm not familiar with the book. I haven't read it, but I know that in America you guys kind of learned this book in school and stuff. So. It's about the Great Depression. That's all.
Yeah, and the Dust Bowl and families moving over to California and work, and they're poor.
Is this the one that has the character Lenny?
No, that's of Mice and Men.
Okay, gotcha.
I also got the impression that this voiceover was added over later. It just feels like was not there originally. I don't know. I just feel like he was walking around town originally just by himself, this voice.
Why is he? I mean, he's just... Where's
the voice coming from?
Yeah.
I was curious. Where's it?
Yeah.
It's just the radio playing, and it's giving us exposition. That's why I think that this should have been added to the opening credits.
Yeah.
Like the newscast voice should have been in the opening credits, giving us some background to the story that we're about to see, I think. I do think that they did a good job creating an environment of a country, in fact, a world, because this apparently is going on all over the world, where a whole generation was lost, like that movie Children of Men.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, reminded me of that. That's a good movie, too.
Yeah. You mean not two? That's a good movie, period. This one.
Right. Okay, you got me there.
I like that shot right there with the cube, the sugar cube and the coffee.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was pretty cool.
I think the editing in this movie is bad. The performances are bad. And the music makes you want to fall asleep.
I agree with 2.5 out of those. I think there's good acting moments in the movie, but it's just some characters do a good job. Others are just completely like, there's kill scenes that are just ridiculously wooden.
Yeah.
Which we'll get to that.
Well, like all of the movie, anytime people are talking to each other, it's like this. Long pauses and people whispering and kind of mad at each other, but not enough to raise their voices. I don't know.
This scene was originally longer, and one of the deleted scenes I watched, he gave this, backstory about how he would, his brother, because it's his brother, which I didn't really, they don't say it in the movie.
Yeah.
But it talks about how he wanted to fix things between them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A relationship, but you don't really get anything like that from the final.
And then the way this movie was cut, so his wife left him because he wouldn't let her visit him in prison. That's the impression that I got, but it's really not clear.
I got the impression more that they resented him for throwing away his life. But they never really explained why he went to prison. They explain why he killed a guy, but they don't explain exactly what happened in the bar fight that would cause him to do that.
Yeah.
We could have had a little scene like Aircon or something like that that would show us James Van Der Beek getting into a fight and accidentally killing someone.
And in Con Air there was a knife, right? And the knife disappeared. So
So they're estranged brothers. Makeup on this guy, on the kid here, is a little over the top. And I noticed they don't seem to blink too often, and they were given direction by the director not to blink in the shots. That just adds to the weirdness, but at the same time, it's, why are their eyes like they have the dark patches under their eyes?
Yeah.
Seems a little over the top.
Yeah.
Are they supposed to have like a zombie kind of look or something?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of ham-fisted kind of stuff in this.
Here's another cool shot.
In the fake hospital. Or no, this one's in a school gym, isn't it?
Yeah, school gym.
Basketball court.
At one point they mentioned that the recent class of 19-year-olds was graduating from high school, never to return again, and so they were going to start closing all the schools because they're... But one of the things I tried to figure out, and I think I did, was I was wondering if can people still get pregnant and give birth to kids? But I guess they do because the UN does a ban on childbirth further down the way. It's just that they're born like this, catatonic, I guess.
And what was the cutoff age, right? Because it was 10 years ago that this happened.
I think it was the kids that were under 10, under the age of 10 or under the age of 9 or something.
Okay, so all of the young people in this movie are 20 then, pretty much.
Yeah, like there's 2 of them that are like 19.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, right. So the 2 19-year-olds are like teenagers, and then these guys are only like a couple of years older than them.
Mm-hmm.
It raises a lot of questions about that part of the story. I didn't get any of that part about the pregnancy, not getting pregnant. It's a lot of.
So this is the scene where she explained he didn't want her to see him in prison or whatever.
Okay. It's like, oh boy, James Van Der Beek is at my house again.
Yeah.
He has a stalker look to him. I don't know.
Yeah, it's almost like he was mad that he was in this movie.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, kind of.
He wasn't part of the...
Where's that same grimace the entire film?
Yeah.
They make a joke at the beginning of the commentary track saying that Hal Masonberg and James Van Der Beek had to go watch some episodes of Dawson's Creek. And that's kind of creepy considering that the director claims that he, was interfered with while doing the movie. And, obviously if the editor is the one that's talking about the movie and not the director, there's something that went on there.
Yeah, I'm curious to listen to the commentary after we watch this. I actually would I might even watch this movie again to listen to that commentary. It kind of sounds interesting.
Yeah. There's one point during the opening credits where one of the actors jokes and says, "Who's Hal Masonberg?" And they all laugh. And I thought that was a little creepy.
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't get along or something. I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to contact Hal Masonberg to know more about what happened with this movie, because he apparently has a director's cut that he's been pushing to raise awareness of.
Well, and when we did an episode of about this movie, you reached out to him about the director's cut, and he wouldn't let you see it because he said that we would be biased because we're the Clive Barker podcast, and we would take Clive Barker's side, so he wouldn't let you see it.
Can't blame him for thinking that way, but really, I just want to know. I just want to give it an honest and unbiased go. Just see is it really better? Let's see it.
Yeah, it can't be worse.
So here's the time for their morning seizure at 10 a.m. Of course, the only reason for the tension in this scene is because the nurses don't just leave them in binds all the time. Why would they risk having them start seizing while they're not bound? Yeah. And why would it's.
It was weird, though. They were rushing to get it done in time. It's like, that just seems like poor planning.
Yeah, it happens every day at the same exact time. So.
Yeah, they could have it done by 10:55 or 9:55. I mean, yeah. It's also kind of weird that why does this thing follow our Earth clock or whatever? I don't know. Like right on the second.
Yeah, it already gives it something that's like supernatural. It's like there's no logical reason why all the kids have fallen prey to this sickness, this plague.
Yeah.
And, the movie does turn it into more like a religious thing at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, now that we know that the kids are staying fit because they do these seizures, why would the dad not let the kid do the thing that keeps his body fit?
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
It's not like this is one of those seizures that can hurt you.
Yeah, he doesn't want to tie him down. He'd rather drape his whole body across him twice a day.
Yeah. Yep. I could see the 19-year-olds and 18-year-olds having some sort of pressure being put on them or some sort of survivor's guilt. I think that's what they try to play the scene that's coming after this.
Yeah.
I mean, they could have lost a lot of friends too. That would mess up a generation.
Mm-hmm.
Like if like half of your friends all of a sudden fell prey to some sort of plague. And
is that a model? It looks like a model.
No, I thought just they were in a helicopter shot.
Yeah, it looks like a helicopter shot of Winnipeg, maybe.
Yeah. These characters are dumb.
Okay. You took the words right out of my mouth.
They're a little annoying. And the girl in particular, when you think about the deleted scenes that exist of her, that makes her character have even less sense.
Yeah, she's the worst. At least you can kind of understand him because he likes her and he just wants to stick it out with her, but she's nuts. So are they like the two youngest people on Earth?
I don't know.
And also
part of that generation, yeah.
And also the plague kids have some sort of a hive mind, and we're going to see later that these kids can blend in with them. Well, that makes no sense.
Yeah, no, it never explained.
Yeah, why? I mean, either these kids are all connected, and what one of them learns, they all learn, which is what they say. That if they're all connected, they would know that those kids aren't part of them.
Right. But, ultimately they do realize that. And, it's just we're moving towards almost the third act of the movie now.
Yeah.
But
right. Yeah.
They don't get away with everything they do. Like they blend in. She blends in. He doesn't really blend in that much, but she does. And at some point it stops working. So
Everybody in this movie talks like they're at a funeral.
They do it. Just no enthusiasm. But I guess in the sense of the story, the world they're living in, why would you be really happy?
Well, but it's been 10 years. I mean, they don't have to talk about that all the time for 10 years.
I guess it's because they're just seeing Tom come back to the city again after he went to jail for killing a guy. So I understand why this cop would be like, well, come back here next week and I don't want to see you in handcuffs. Because you wonder, I mean, what sort of difference would that make in the world if all of a sudden there was nobody that was under age 10?
Yeah.
People would be like devastated because all the parents would have lost their kids.
Yeah.
So it would mess up both generations.
Yeah.
In the deleted scenes, in this scene where he's going to meet his ex-wife's brother.
Is Sam, is it the
I
character?
call him Beer Bottle Sam.
Yeah.
In the deleted scenes, we hear that he testified against the Vander Beek character.
Oh, really?
He asks him also to stay away from his sister.
Away from his sister.
Yeah.
But he's his friend in this movie.
Yeah, because they cut that part out. They're never really that close, though, during the whole story. I didn't feel like their characters were very close.
Yeah.
Almost like he was waiting for this guy to come out of the police station so he could confront him.
Mm-hmm.
Because he comes out of the shadows there.
What did you call him again, Ryan? Sam what?
Beer Bottle Sam.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody in the town likes this guy or sees him kindly because I guess they lost hope in him after what he did.
But you had everything to lose.
Yep. College.
This is one of the actors that does one of the comment. I think he's on the commentary, isn't he?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is. He's got a very funny southern drawl. Or entertaining, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm not really familiar with James Van Der Beek apart from this movie and Dawson's Creek.
I've never even seen Dawson's Creek. I just remember that it was a show that was on.
Right.
It's funny. It was filmed in Wilmington, North Carolina.
Oh.
And I never saw it myself either. I was not a big fan. Mm-hmm. But he's also been in a couple of good films. He was in a film called Varsity Blues.
Oh.
And a one called a movie was based on what's the guy who's the writer who wrote American Psycho? What was his last name?
Bret Easton Ellis.
Yeah, he wrote a book called Rules of Attraction or something like that, and he was in that movie too, which was very good.
I think I saw that movie too. Yeah. So up next, worldwide ban on childbirth.
Yep, still going.
State-sponsored involuntary abortion programs. Damn.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd imagine. Okay, yeah, I understand. I mean, nobody would want to have kids after a few years of having kids that were catatonic, I would guess. People would just not want to have kids.
Yeah.
They wouldn't need this involuntary program. Oh, that was creepy right there.
Yeah, it was. Have another little creepy moment here, too, with that same female character.
Everybody's watching the same show.
Yeah.
Same
I mean, I know the world is like, is it going to hell? I mean,
yeah.
In a handbasket.
Yeah, I mean, it's been 10 years. You'd think that they would have, figured out how to move on a little bit.
Peaceful demonstrations turn to violence. And here they mention the book again.
Yeah, they talk about the story.
Is this about the Dust Bowl?
Yeah.
Era? Okay. I guess at that time, America was also going through a period where they didn't know if they were going to pull through.
Going to make it or not. Yeah.
Gwar has a song called The Apes of Wrath. It's about human beings.
I only know that song from Gwar that has a music video where Odorous Orungus plays basketball with Jesus Christ.
Oh, yeah, Meat Sandwich.
Yeah. Meat Sandwich.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Dunks all over Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. It looks like the relationship between the two brothers has legs to move forward. Like this conversation, it seems like they're just getting used to each other.
Yeah.
But, they're not that resentful, but they're still, like, wary. Like, the brother is very distant.
Although that brother seems like he's like 15 years older than him.
That's true, yeah. He looks pretty old. Could be from taking care of his disabled kid as well. That would age you.
That's true. He did look a lot younger in the opening.
Yeah, the lighting in this scene kind of reminds me of a TV series or a TV film.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Really, really slow TV show.
God, it's really slow.
I did, when I was watching this movie and preparing for the commentary track, I admit that I watched the movie 20% sped up.
Yeah, I read that.
Yeah,
it worked well.
Yeah, but we can't do that here.
Yeah.
It worked pretty well because it was still enough that the scenes wouldn't be so long, but it wasn't too fast that would make it look jerky and funny.
So what was that, like 50 minutes or 60 minutes, something like that?
Yeah, it was like a fifth less. So
I would have thought of watching it that way.
It'd be like an hour. Yeah. Hey
Because
kids,
the third act is
all...
really hard to get through. Oh yeah, this is creepy right here.
Yeah.
All right, kids, let's all get under the chute.
Yeah.
You did that in school, like get under the big parachute.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah,
At field.
Where all the kids held it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
The kids are taking over.
That was fast. The TV started.
I know. Yeah.
Broadcasting the emergency service transmission.
Yeah. They've killed everybody. Somehow they got into the TV station and killed everybody in the TV station already.
Yeah.
Is he wearing pajama bottoms or jeans?
Wearing jeans. I think.
He just sleeps in his clothes, I guess.
He's never changed his clothes throughout the movie, I don't think.
Oh, right.
There. And apparently he turned on the bedroom light when he woke up.
And the kids cut the power.
But the light was on in his bedroom.
Yeah.
Oh, he bashed his head in with the alarm? I didn't notice that.
Oh, man. It's like 10 years of waking up in the morning with that stupid alarm.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, hey, nephew, I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to throw you out right out the window.
Yeah, and he didn't seem like he was really all broken up about his brother's death.
I know. Yeah, never even mentioned again.
No.
Yeah, I have that in my notes here. I think even though they were estranged, that James Van Der Beek doesn't emote too much about his brother's death seems a little weird.
No.
Kind of, just shrugs and goes, well.
James Van Der Beek's character is probably the worst one in the...
I miss you, buddy.
Oh, boom.
Why are you fighting me, beer bottle Sam?
He should ask, was that the boogeyman? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it feels
I
like.
believe it was.
Halloween.
And this is like typical beginning of a zombie movie. Like someone goes to a relative's house to pick him up and be like, hey, do you know what's going on? And then they get into the car. Just like the beginning of The Last of Us, I guess.
Yeah.
The director says his version has different takes of the film.
Right. I think it was David had asked him about that in Twitter, and he said they used all the bad takes, and David was like, oh, give me a break.
Yeah.
There are some alternate takes in the deleted scenes, I think.
But you just have to wonder how different could it be. I mean, I guess you could make the editing does make a big difference, but...
Oh boy, I got a giant cat waiting for food right here in front of the microphone. 16-pounder.
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
if you hear a headbutt, that's probably him.
I'm getting my tire iron. Oh man, my curly hair.
And the tire iron is actually...
This scene is hilarious. Watch this.
Let's see.
Beer bottle Sam kicks the fence for no reason.
Yeah, fuck you, fuck this, boom, boom.
Yeah.
I think the reason why he's breaking the fence is he wants to
Get that
break a piece.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I
Stick.
thought he just hated the fence. And fuck this garden gnome, and fuck this sprinkler, and fuck this spring. Or swing.
Can't see the movie. Cat, get out of the way.
Oh,
You have a
that's
cat,
funny.
right? Ryan Bosco.
Yeah.
I kind of wish it would have been in the movie like that, Ryan, where he just kicks the fence. I like your idea better.
And yeah, I didn't realize that he was doing that to get the picket out of it to use as a weapon.
Yeah, he takes it all the way to school.
Yeah, wow. Yeah,
He
you,
takes it to the hospital.
you think on the way to the hospital he could have found something better.
Yeah.
Like the tire iron.
Yeah, right. He had a tire iron, and he just
Yeah, that's much better than a.
USA! Boom. I was just thinking of Hacksaw Jim Dugan.
That's good makeup right there.
Yeah, what was the deal with her? Did she have dentures?
I think they broke
they
her
just-
jaw.
Yeah,
Oh,
her jaw.
They
The
broke
makeup
her
was
jaw.
by Tim Langvin. He did the effects.
Yeah, the music was a little generic, and it didn't really work very well for that scene.
Yeah, doesn't this school look exactly like the hospital that was in the...
Yeah, I think you're right. They probably just used that opening.
Yeah.
This was all one big location, and they just
Yeah,
you know.
even though they wouldn't be using the schools as a hospital when it first happened.
God,
Yeah.
this scene here. These kids had to be right there on the ladder, though.
Yeah.
It's one of those camera tropes. If it's not on the shot, nobody can see it.
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh. Ooh.
Still,
Yeah, that line is terrible. They think we're one of them. Like, you're two people.
that still doesn't explain why they're there.
Yeah.
It's like, why are you
Yeah.
here?
Where did they
think we're
come
one of
from?
them.
How did they get there? Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right.
Last time we saw them, they were at the police station. So
They should have said they think we're like them. Instead of they think we're one of them is just a bad line.
it is. They should. Yeah, like one of them. No, there's two of them. So
Yeah.
up to this point, I was still enjoying the movie, and I was like, hey, you
Yeah.
know, okay, it's a little slow, but it's got, they
Yeah.
woke up, and now they're going to raise hell.
Yeah, this is the point where you think, it's going to get interesting.
And that's the point I hate about that, because the point where it's supposed to get interesting, it gets really bad.
Yeah.
And there's a
I hate
thing
that.
that he does, Sam, beer bottle Sam. There's a thing that he does
gonna
that
call
people
him
never
Beer Bottle
do in horror movies. He takes the nurse's keys, and then they use the keys to get into this broom closet. And it's like, finally, someone's smart in a horror movie.
Oh, like because they knew how to use keys?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Hey, this is like playing Alien Isolation. Hide in a closet until the alien goes away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still need to finish that game.
I finished it. I
Look
thought
at
it
me. I'm not a kid. Stop aiming that picket
Also-
at me.
Yeah, also, this is like, how the heck didn't they see them? Or
I
take
know,
some
I mean-
defensive stance? Or something?
Yeah.
And also, not to
this
mention,
broom
this is one of
closet
the...
that we're in is full of people, and we didn't.
It's a huge broom closet.
I know, it's huge. You could record a record in that that broom closet if you wanted to.
Yeah, and they didn't lock the door, and they were hiding in the corner, so kids could have come in at any point.
Well, they locked the door. They opened it with a key.
Oh, that's true. But if somebody was opening it with a key, you'd think they would have been ready to hit him in the head or something.
Sure. Yeah, and this guy, he's bleeding internally. That's like the quickest diagnosis I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And again, he's just sitting in a corner of that room. Nobody saw him.
Yeah.
It's like,
And none of you never get to know any of these people's names. At least I never heard them. If they said their names,
they're just there. They're just fodder.
Fodder,
They're not
yeah.
even going to last.
Fodder.
They're not going to last even 3 minutes in this movie.
Oh, that's a spoiler. Now you just
Okay.
ruined the movie for everybody.
Oh, so sorry.
These teens walking around totally reminds me of this movie. This scene in the movie reminds me of Prince of Darkness and Assault. on
Yeah, that's what I was thinking
Yeah.
too, Jose.
Yeah, totally. And also, the movie can't make up its mind whether these kids are zombies or whether they can feel, pain. And it seems like sometimes they can and sometimes they can't.
At some point, they decided to go with putting blood and scratches all over the kids. I guess it would be to represent that they've been fighting with adults whenever they find them, and they've been like scratched and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think sometimes they go a little overboard with that. The makeup.
I've got an idea. I'm going to kill you all in this laundry chute.
They sure take their sweet time going down that chute.
I know.
Their lives on the line, people banging on the door, and they're like,
yeah,
oh,
and
I don't
it
think
seems
I
like
can do
she
this.
gets, when that lady, we haven't seen that yet, but when she comes back up the chute, she comes up faster than she got down.
Mm-hmm. This is another trope that people just let it slide by in movies, but in real life that would never happen. When people go through the vents, they would just fall through the fake roof.
Yeah, I know, because that stuff is so, like, fragile, isn't it?
It's just,
Yeah, it would never be enough for a person to, support their weight there.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, we just made this cartoony-looking rope out of sheets.
Yeah.
And the music here kind of reminds me from Hellraiser 2 when they go through the carnival of
okay.
Whatever that Tiffany's Dream.
Mm-hmm. You can go faster than that, lady.
I would just dive head first if I was in that position.
It looks like you could even jump down.
Yeah, well, and they could put their feet up against the side, too, to help climb down. I don't know. It just...
Yeah, also the chute, if you notice, the chute has lights inside the chute for some reason. There are some lights on the walls. And it's just like, that's completely useless. But, we have to see. We're saved.
Yeah, we made it. Wait a minute. What's that over there? I think I see 1,000 kids. I'm going to go check to make sure.
Here's the worst acting of the movie right here. It's when this guy here, we should stay together. And he's like, I'm just going to look for an exit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just a horrible scene there. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And again, if the camera doesn't see it in the shot, nobody sees it.
Yeah.
Even though he was just standing there in front of a mob just staring him down.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, that's just bad directing there. That is bad directing.
This doesn't make any... So one of the kids just grabbed his leg, right? So he climbs back out, but then the person that comes up is not one of those kids.
Well, we don't see that it's a kid. We just see a hand.
Well, why would that lady grab his leg? I mean, I guess maybe she would.
And she would have said something, too. I mean, she would be like, hey, let's go upstairs. Or maybe she was being quiet because of the kids. But I don't want to make excuses for the movie.
She could have said, wait, help.
Right.
Yeah, I know.
And I love how he holstered his picket.
Well, I think,
God, yeah.
Was that moment supposed to be like a surprise that you realize? I think he thought it was going to be like one of the kids coming up, but then you realize it's...
Yeah. He feels guilt for what he did here.
Yeah.
At least that's what I took out of his interpretation.
Never got the touching of why they touched these people. And
yeah, they're checking to see if they're ready to sacrifice themselves. Or
also, where did that kid come from? I think the door was still closed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Did he climb up? Yeah, that's a good point.
Why'd that kid just die? Oh, yeah.
Morphine.
Yeah, that's another one of those things where he would have seen her there.
I know. It's bad. It's bad. It's a little clunky.
Yeah.
This scene was a little longer, too, in the deleted scenes. I can't remember, though, what was added to it.
Flintstones chewable morphine.
Flintstones chewable morphine.
That's from The Simpsons.
I'll miss Sheriff Lobo. I know, we're doing like Simpsons references here.
Yeah. Well, we have to fill the time. This is so boring.
Because it gets really boring here.
Yeah.
So she went to get medication, I think,
Somebody
to help...
spilled ink.
To help the guy that was bleeding internally, right?
Yeah.
That's what she was doing. And this part here, like Sam
Look what you
comes
did
out.
to my Pickett.
Yeah. And he feels like he looks like he's really guilty for like all the other people dying, but it's like there's nothing he could do. He could have just said, "Well, they were in the laundry, they got them all."
Yeah. Yeah. Ugh.
He's all messed up.
I need a beer.
Okay, and here comes. I know sometimes there's really nothing to talk about in this movie. Oh,
Yeah.
hey, we're just in this movie again, so.
That kid looks like a famous actor. His face is very distinct. I've seen him in something else, or he just looks like somebody's.
Well, everybody in this movie except for James Van Der Beek were like, you see them in a lot of TV shows and stuff.
And there's Dee Wallace as well.
Yeah, I like Dee Wallace. I met her at.
Nice.
Yeah, you told us that. Was the same convention where you met Tom Savini?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Dee Wallace signed my copy of The Howling.
Oh, nice.
Oh, cool.
Great werewolf flick.
I just want to bring attention to the fact that this girl here, the 19-year-old, says they caused all this, and she kind of nods at the adults. And I'm like,
Yeah. What?
Okay, how? What? How do you know that?
That line came
Why
out
does
of
she
nowhere.
think that? Yeah.
God, I totally forgot. Who is this guy?
He just came out of nowhere.
And he's
Yeah.
and he's going to die in about 30 seconds.
In a scene that's very evocative of the Dawn of the Dead part with I forgot the name of the guy.
Except that they don't actually show them ripping him up. So it's like these kids are sort of zombies, but not really zombies.
They don't
Joke on them.
Yeah, you're talking about the guy from Day of the
Joke on
Dead.
it. Yeah.
Day of the Dead, right? Day of the Dead.
Yeah.
Joke on them.
Yeah.
Again, the score during these attacks is a little generic. Oh yeah, see, she kind of goes along with them because she trusts them, and she blends in with them at the time.
Yeah.
For some reason, I mean, she abandons her boyfriend and she goes off with those guys, the kids, and there's no reason for her to do that.
This right here, the shot with Dee Wallace, that's an homage to the Night of the Living Dead, 1968.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He breaks the window,
but he takes him a few hits with the rock before he breaks the window.
Yeah.
That kid is like, you shot me in the arm, and that makes me mad.
Yeah, I know.
It's like now they have emotions. Sometimes they're zombies and they don't feel pain, like they're punching through glass, no problem.
Yeah, he shouldn't have looked down. He should have.
Yeah.
You know,
all those arms coming through the door. That also reminds me of famous zombie movies where.
Yeah, Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah.
There's.
Yeah, and the score is just not good in this scene.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that part where she breaks his ankle.
Yeah, that's painful. And then you know that he's a goner, but they drag him out for a long time.
She was getting ready to kill him with his 2x4.
Yeah. I don't know what to do. I think I'll just stand here and look at the door for a while. Oh, now I'm going to run.
Yeah, that is bad acting.
Yeah.
It's just that the editing when they break the door cuts a little back and forth with the camera in positions that don't work very well. It's like, cut to the guy looking around, cut back to the door, cut back to the guy looking around again.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like what you would do if you're a high schooler making a movie.
They should have made this shot closer to like Jurassic Park where they shoot the mirror and it says objects may be closer than they appear.
Yeah. And we get it. It hurts. Jeez.
Yeah, no, geez.
Yeah, I know. Shut up, dude. You're gonna get the kids to know where you are.
Yeah.
Also, if you're in a really bad accident or if you have like something like an exposed fracture, after a few minutes it doesn't really hurt that much anymore because your body kind of kicks in with its own like painkiller thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you call them? There's like
endorphins, I think.
Yeah, as long as you just hold still, I think.
I've had stitches and very nasty cuts. And I was just like, that's okay. I don't feel much of it.
Yeah.
So. The cop seems unfazed.
Yeah.
It's like, he's a drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just give him a beer.
It's just a scratch.
Yeah.
Is it real bad? It's just a scratch. What is this, a Monty Python movie?
Yeah. Yeah, that is a stupid thing to say. He knows it's not just a scratch.
Yep. The darker scenes are atmospheric, I think. Yeah. They work well. The sense of a world less populated on its way out. It's very unsettling. Although, to be honest, I do enjoy seeing that show, World Without People, where they just show like how long the cities would last if humans disappeared. That's kind of got kind of a beauty to it.
Yeah. I don't like needles.
Oh, okay.
I don't like having my blood drawn or anything put inside or like.
When I was a kid, I had a doctor tell me that they were going to take my blood, and I thought they were going to take all of my blood and kill.
Oh.
And I said, "Are you going to give it back?" And he's like, "Oh, ha ha ha, that's so funny." So then he drew blood, and I fainted, and now that happens to me all the time.
Yeah, I have to when I get blood drawn, I have to lay down. I can't sit up.
I guess that kind of defined your experience of it, and it kind of became a thing you associate with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see people taking my blood. It doesn't really faze me, but I know people who would faint when they saw their own blood.
Well, and then you try to explain it to nurses or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, it doesn't hurt that much." Like, I don't care about. It's not about how much it hurts.
It's not a logical thing.
I usually have to take orange juice and crackers with me too after I'm done to get the.
Oh, to stop feeling dizzy and stuff.
Yeah.
But you mean when donate blood or just get a little bit of blood drawn?
Just a little bit of blood drawn for me.
Okay.
I usually
I don't donate blood.
Okay. This church scene here is pretty cool.
Yeah, I like the way it's shot.
There's a tradition of using kids in zombie movies. You know, I know these aren't technically zombies, but yeah,
they can't make up their mind what they are.
There's the foreshadowing when he's going to find a girl here, and it's going to be like, okay, it's going to doom them. They spare the zombie girl.
Oh,
he turns and where he turns without flashlight and stuff. I mean, he looks so girly.
Yeah.
I guess she was hiding amongst the pews.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't really forgive the trope of zombie girl, let's spare her, and then she'll kill us all. So minus 25 points to Gryffindor here.
Yeah, I agree. This is the worst, and you know exactly what's going to happen as soon as Dee Wallace's character sees her.
Mm-hmm. And somehow, for some reason, this has to be the daughter of the sheriff.
Yeah.
It's like, it looks like these kids all got up and went different directions.
Yeah. Yeah, what is she doing there? All the other kids are hanging out together.
Yeah. I guess she's a goth one. She sneaked into the church to smoke cigarettes.
You don't understand. I need to untie her. Look, somebody tied her up. I got to do something about it.
Like, she knows very well what all the kids have been for the last 10 years.
I know. Yeah, one of the kids just tried to kill her with a rock.
Right. I wish the movie would allow us to understand a little more the deeper meaning of what's happening.
I know.
Yeah, maybe the director's cut does that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just thrown in, and it's just thrown in at the end, really, and it's kind of nonsense.
I like that shot right here with the guy.
It's like The Exorcist.
Yeah, and that is the preacher, right?
That is the preacher, I think.
Yeah, but
he originally had an introduction when Tom was walking home, when he was standing out looking at the.
Oh yeah, was that the guy who asks him? Who asks him if he's been walking a lot because his shoes show that he's been walking a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember that scene, yeah. He looked like a vagrant almost.
Yeah, he did.
He's like a broken preacher.
Broken preacher.
Mm-hmm.
Let's open the door and find out.
Oh no, they're giving him a wet willy.
Yeah, I know. Like, what are they? They're not doing anything to hurt him. They're just kind of.
I never got the impression if they just break your bones and stuff. I mean, or they just, do they just? Yeah, it seems like they're just,
they're just
touching
they're just
him,
pawing at him,
clawing at him.
Just pawing at him.
Yeah.
The thing is, it seemed at the beginning that when you see him in the backlight, it seemed like he was there voluntarily. But then it's like, you can't tell if this is voluntary or not. Yeah. And that's going to have repercussions at the end of the movie as well.
Yeah. So, yeah, right, because then he's deciding now that he's not ready to give his soul or whatever.
I wish I could understand why they just outright kill some people really fast and others they just do something like this.
Yeah.
Now, y'all, we've seen the ending. I'm going into spoiler territory here, our listeners, but I got to ask this question for the ending. Is this preacher's younger self that does this?
You mean the kid?
Yeah, is that the preacher's younger self taking over?
I didn't see it that way.
No,
I didn't really either, but it was a thought that came up just now.
It seems like they've got a few of these really young kids that are kind of like the leaders, but and they have supernatural. He has supernatural strength apparently, and these littler kids can talk, and the rest of them can't.
Yeah. Well, sometimes kids are really strong.
Yeah, especially when they kick you in the balls or something like that.
Or they punch you in the face or slap you.
Yeah. Or scratch.
Yeah.
God.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah.
Just that face.
Yeah, it's like, why are they so violent? And the morality of this movie is really strange. Or what the point they're trying to get across, that
actor,
adults have screwed up the world and God is using the children to judge them, or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And here's a good question that he asks: why didn't she come with us? Like, she being his friend, and she trusts them. So that still doesn't explain why she would abandon, her friend and just go off with a murderous mob of kids who don't even speak.
Yeah, no. Time for some more whispering.
There was a tiny bit of exposition here about the story. They try to explain why this might be happening, but it's more like a hypothetical speculation from this guy. Like, well, we just figured they didn't want to be part of the world anymore.
Yeah.
But that doesn't explain why this plague happened.
Right, and so this is the first clue that we get about why is the journal from that preacher. Yeah.
Yeah, preacher.
Feels like a thrown-in plot device.
It is, for sure, yeah.
He does say that he quit like a year ago, but it's like that church doesn't seem like it's been closed. And why, if he quit, why was his diary still at the church?
Yeah.
He's still living there?
Yeah.
I guess maybe that's why he was going back to get it when he showed up.
Oh, yeah, okay. That's a possibility.
That's right. Oh, man, I knew I forgot something 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Please keep mumbling the important parts of the plot.
Yeah. Movie, do you want to tell us something?
Yeah.
That girl has a really kind of a very her face is very photogenic, if you want to say it. It's very something angelic about it, but it's also something evil.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with
the same time,
dark patches around the eyes, I guess.
Yeah.
And she's got a white nightie.
Yeah.
So she's kind of angelical with that. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of Night of the Living Dead in this movie.
They really, I think, and if they're the director's cut, I think the director's cut probably focuses a lot more on the religious subtext, because there's all this religious subtext that gets nothing in this version.
Yeah.
Could be. And here it comes, the part that we all saw coming.
Yeah.
Mom is going to
I know, yeah, and you see this and you go, oh, just get it over with.
Which makes her character look really just dumb.
I know.
Just, because you like Dee Wallace Stone as an actor.
Yeah.
And, as an actor, you want to root for her because,
Yeah.
I mean, she plays all these, she plays good mother roles. This one is just kind of wasted.
She's a stereotypical mother character.
And it's very wasted because she doesn't really have a lot of input in this movie. I mean, She doesn't really have a lot of scenes in the movie. She doesn't have a lot of dialogue.
She just follows people around and does stupid things until she dies.
Yeah, she's basically here for this scene, really.
And why does her daughter kill her? I mean, why are they killing some people and then other people they want to check them to see if they're going to give up their souls or whatever?
Apparently, they put the hands on everybody after they killed them.
Oh.
Because when James Van Der Beek asks the other guy, the 19-year-old guy, he says, "Have you seen them do this before?" And he says, "Yes, all the time." So they do that every time they kill someone. And I think that there's a few IMDb forum posts with theories about it, and what the consensus seems to be is that they would learn what one learns, all of them learn, and what they take out of their victims was just like pain and fear and anguish, and it was kind of like feeding them until they get someone who's going to give them tranquility and peace and good vibes, So I don't know if that's really what's going on here, but that's one of the fan theories about this movie.
Yeah.
Do they just twist their heads around completely because the way their necks are?
I know, that's weird.
Yeah.
And
this scene is pretty dramatic, but the music in it, it's very drony, and it makes it boring.
Yeah. The music is basically telling you that this scene is over or whatever already. There's no tension in it.
What kind of score do you think would have been better for the movie? Maybe not have score in this scene?
Strings, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Something with more tension in it.
Yeah.
The whole thing is just sad. I mean, it's just depressing music.
Yeah, the music can add a lot to a movie, and in this case, I think the movie is already a little slow, and so if it had a better score, it would have just made it a lot better. It would have helped, at least, I think.
Yeah.
And again, this reaction here is just cut to the dead guy, cut to the people, cut back to the dead guy. Okay, that's a wrap.
Yeah.
Another movie that comes to mind when I was watching this was 30 Days of Night.
Oh.
But hear me out, because there's very few people, and they have to hide inside the houses all the time.
Yeah. I don't know how they could survive, because seeing that movie, I mean, it'd be like 60 below, and they cut the power, so they have no heat. Mm-hmm. And they're hiding in the attic for months.
Sure, and also they jump several weeks just out of nowhere in that movie. I mean, they don't even show you what, if anything, happened during those weeks. They don't show you all 30 Days of Night.
Yeah.
So
it's okay to for kids to kill adults unless it's her mom. That's not cool.
There is
that's where she turns the tide. She's like, I'm not having this anymore.
Yeah. This is where I draw the line.
Yeah.
In one of the deleted scenes,
and I can't stand no more.
In one of the deleted scenes, she actually finds a little girl in the house, the little girl that killed her mother, and she kills that little girl with her bare hands.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But
which would not make a lot of sense later when she keeps saying that, oh, they trust me, I still blend in with them. But it's like at that moment she wouldn't have any reason to do it.
Yeah.
Because she would, have killed one of them already, so they wouldn't have any reason to trust her anymore. This is cool. They show us that the kids disabled all the cars, so all the cars in the street have their hoods up.
Yeah.
It's kind of this movie also reminds me of you're speaking of other kind of movies that it kind of reminds me of Village of the Damned as well.
Oh, I haven't. I know what you're talking about, but I haven't seen it. Or maybe I have, and I just don't remember.
Village of the Damned.
It's a remake, right? There's an old Village of the Damned, and then
the John
Carpenter remake one.
Yeah, they're both good.
I like both.
Black and white. Yeah.
The last one had the remake had Christopher Reeves in it.
Oh wow!
Yeah, before he got in an accident.
That's
that actor. I figured out what he looks like. Y'all know the actor Toby Bell?
Yes, he plays Jigsaw.
Yeah, he looks. Just look at him. He looks just like
a young Toby Bell. Yeah, like 40 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, here comes the silliest joke in the movie. She's like, well, we're going to go and get the car. And it's like, hey.
Will you bring me some beer?
He's an alcoholic.
Yeah. Yep, I'm going to do a bad job.
Yeah, that next time you see him, they're both just totally, just annihilated. They've been...
He looks like the guy from RoboCop.
Clarence Boddicker?
Clarence Boddicker.
Oh,
yeah. Clarence Boddicker are under arrest. Or the dad from That 70s Show.
Yeah. That's the same guy who plays Clarence Boddicker, I think. That's a good one.
It's like, hey, you want some host? No, God almighty. Hey, it's okay if it isn't consecrated. It's just unleavened bread.
Yeah,
this scene is weird because it feels like it's supposed to be a little light in terms of comic relief almost, but it comes off as awkward. These characters haven't been characterized enough to have their own scene.
Yeah.
Well, and they're still doing this whispering, mumbling tone.
Yeah. I shouldn't have taken this job being a sheriff's deputy in Sheer Neck.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It just feels awkward.
Yeah. Luckily, it's going to be over here pretty soon.
Still got 30 minutes.
Well, I mean this scene.
Oh, yeah. Well, thankfully, this scene
no such luck.
We have to take all small victories, don't we?
Give me your gun. We got to last another 10 seconds. What? I can't believe that rocking chair didn't hold him.
Yeah, I know. That was like...
Oh, no, they have guns now.
They had all kinds of stuff in that room to put in front of that door.
Yeah.
Other than that one rocking chair?
But they wanted to talk about the alien theory instead.
It's a very good point there. Yeah, they could have... I would have put everything in the kitchen sink there.
Yeah. Hey, there's a picket missing here.
Oh, yeah.
That's called continuity, Ryan.
Yeah.
And that's all she
Beer
wrote.
bottle Sam must have it in his holster. See, sometimes women know stuff.
Yeah.
So I didn't understand why did the kids forget about this? Was it stuck in a barn or something? Maybe.
This is the worst one of those that you were talking about. She just happened to be standing right behind her and nobody could tell.
That shot from behind is so bad. There's so many ways where it's bad. First, the girl comes back out of nowhere. Why would she even know that they're there?
Yeah.
Then she's hidden right behind the girl, so the camera can move to the side and show us who shot.
Yeah.
And then she waits until the very last minute.
That means she was tiptoeing, inching an inch behind her the whole time.
And then she waits until the very last minute to do anything, and the zombie girl doesn't know how to act at all. It's just clunky and bad.
It's badly directed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's choreographed.
Like,
that scene could have been better.
Yeah, you see the little cloud of smoke from the shot that's coming from behind the girl, and you know.
Yeah, you do your best trying to make these. Guys try to. Obviously, it was a moment trying to scare the audience, but fell flat.
That truck, covered in dust with like broken windows, it looks like it would have been like a clunker they would be taking parts out of.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't even work at all. But, in this scene, it looks like it's been washed already.
Yeah. Oh, man. Look, somebody spilled Kool-Aid all over the walls.
They spray the heck out of that place. Wow.
Beer bottle, Sam.
All I wanted was a beer.
And she didn't even bring it.
That's good. Yeah, I forgot about that. Okay, so our heroes have a car now. I wonder how long until they walk away from the car and it gets damaged somehow. Because let's face it, at this point they have a car. The movie could just be over. They would just be like, all right, let's take the back roads and let's go over to that Air Force base.
Yeah. Are you
She
sure
did a better job
right?
mourning her brother than James Van Der Beek did.
Nobody mourns their siblings in this movie very good.
Yeah.
James, Tom didn't care too much for his brother, it appears.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you're in that situation. I mean, you have to
There's
get
this
out.
Scowl acting. This movie is all about scowling.
Yeah.
There's another piano kind of.
Yeah, it sounds like
score.
a kid is playing the piano.
The fact that James Van Der Beek wasn't even in the commentary track, I think, probably means that he didn't like the experience of this movie. He knew he was in a stinker.
Or he didn't like the final result, or both.
Well, let's show everybody in the car in close up.
I'm curious if he even wanted to do it.
Yeah.
Maybe he didn't.
Maybe he thought this was an opportunity to not be the guy from Dawson's Creek.
Right.
And it turned out to be just a crappy movie.
It should be a clear shot from here to the airbase. Famous last words.
Yeah. Why aren't they getting shot up in there?
Yeah, the bullets go through engines.
Yeah. Or the windshield.
Why are you stopping and getting out of the car? Why?
Yeah.
Luckily, these zombies have stormtrooper aim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she just walks out and walks directly towards them, shooting.
Yeah.
They miss her.
Yeah, I've done that in paintball, and it does not work.
God.
Look. So this particular zombie kid feels something.
It's like, damn, but why did they just stare at the dying kid? I know they should conserve ammo, but damn.
I know.
Most
of the rest of the time, they seem like zombies.
Pretty sick, the blood pumping out of the kid's chest.
Good effect, though. Good effect.
Yeah.
Good makeup there.
So now is he afraid of dying now? Because the rest of them don't seem to be. They just run up to people with guns.
He just looks like he's in pain or he's dying because he can't breathe.
God, walking back to the car now.
Well, get him safe.
Hey, we needed bullets more than we need morphine.
Well, I'll give it 25 points to Gryffindor again for having a real movie gun that runs out of bullets.
Yeah, that's true. That's not saying much, though.
And because she's out of bullets, she throws the gun away on the floor. She says, we need more weapons. No, you need more bullets, okay? Keep the gun.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Nobody knows where the local
makes no sense.
Nobody knows where the local gun shop is. All these little backwards places have a gun shop somehow. I don't know. They could have just go in there and get some ammo.
What was the line she said when she freaked out there?
They killed Sam. Wow, that's not very nice.
She would have killed him.
That's cold.
She would
It's
have
like,
shot
you want to
him.
shoot me? And she's like, I'm out of bullets. Damn.
Really mean it.
What a bird.
Yeah,
What a
it looks
burn.
to me like they could just break open that gate on the side there
Yeah.
and
I
drive
like the
around
fence,
the
yeah.
Can
barricade.
they go around it?
Or run over
Yeah.
that fence right there.
Sure. That fence, just covers most of the road, but doesn't cover anything around the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that fence.
Yard.
It kind of helps keep the action.
Nothing in that pile up can be not. A car could easily run through that stuff, like beds. I mean, come on.
It helps keep the action contained, but they could probably move that stuff out without much effort. Oh, let's all split up. That'll help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and this stupid idea of hers to go to the sheriff's station is what gets all the rest of those people killed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Spoilers again. Although presumably anybody that's listening to us talk through this has seen this movie already.
Hopefully, or not.
Once the director will listen to this.
Yeah.
I hope not.
Yeah.
Well, he probably feels a lot of the same way, but the thing we don't really know for sure is if his version of the movie is good.
Better. Yeah.
I mean, I'm guessing it's better because it would have to be, but I don't know if that's enough.
There's some There was an hour-long documentary he made, so we should put that in the show notes for the listeners.
Oh, about this movie?
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, so here we go. He's going back to Jim's diary, the preacher. And in case you were sleeping through the movie, here's a recap of the movie so far.
Yeah.
This is another thing that you shouldn't do in your movie. You shouldn't.
Yeah,
do
it's a scene that just really exposes that your movie's struggling with its story.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like
it really
saying,
doesn't know what it wants to be.
Yeah, and it's like saying, okay, we've mentioned this before, and we had an exposition scene for this, but we're just going to play it back for you so you understand that.
Yeah.
Reinforce the solution thing here for you. It's like the audience is smart; they can come up with those conclusions on their own. They don't
trust your audience, man.
Why'd they hang plastic up in the sheriff's office?
They have a renovation thing going on. There's a sign there.
Yeah, sign right
there. There we go.
Excuse mess while we renovate.
Which they hang on for 3 seconds there.
Yeah.
That's kind of creepy seeing the little
the shadows in there.
shadows in.
So at this point, when they see all that, she should know, okay, this was a bad idea. We'll just leave.
Why are they here?
Yeah.
And this part where they see a shadow and they run, they tiptoe down the corridor again. That's like, it's almost funny in a way.
Well, and now here they, instead of going out the door, they made a left turn.
Uh-huh. Keep in mind, these guys do not have any guns or ammo at this moment.
So they're going into, and all of those kids in there have all of the guns.
Yeah, they've got all kinds of ammo in there.
Yeah. They probably
Shotguns.
Yeah, they probably have all the guns. I'm sure there's more kids than there are guns in this place. This is a waste of time and it's stupid. And Frowny Face was right.
Yep, too dangerous.
Yeah.
But she does it anyway.
And these dumb kids follow her.
Who's Frowny Face? Because everybody frowned in this movie, so I'm confused on who it is. Which one are you talking about?
Vanderbeek is
Vanderbeek. He's Frowny Face.
He just frowns at everybody.
Okay, good luck. Hope that works out for you.
I'm sure that this time around it will. The last time I watched it, it didn't work out for her.
That guy lowers his head in this movie, I think, about 100 times. Contemplation.
Looking at his shoes. Hey, remember me? I'm the girl
guys?
that's not part of you guys, but you kind of let me go.
Remember the good times we had walking down that school hallway?
Yeah.
At one time?
You beat the crap out of that guy.
Hey, see how I'm helping? I'm a helping person.
See, he's looking down again.
Yeah.
Deep thinker that guy is.
Deep thinker. Oh, here's a weird thing. That there's going to be a nightstick that falls out of one of the lockers, and there's no reason why that happens.
Yeah, this is a cheap boo scare.
See, it just opened there.
It was a ghost.
It's like the moment in Jason Goes to Hell when the one guy's walking through the house, searching through it, and then like one of the scares is like a table iron comes falling out, and it's like, well, that's not,
Hey, we saw you take that gun.
You can't come up with a much better scare than that.
Oh, I can't believe it.
That's the worst thing that's ever happened to me.
Holy shit! This nightstick is alive.
Uh-oh. Billy Idol's coming up behind.
That Billy Idol.
And why was that kid there and didn't do anything until now? And they haven't seen him yet. Come on, who's surprised about this? I mean, everybody knew this was going to happen. And for some reason, they didn't do it. They didn't show us how the guys escaped that kid, and now he's just here.
Yeah. Oh, no, you don't. Oh!
I'd keep beating him with that gun.
Yes. Repeatedly. Please. Yeah. Oh, no.
Aw.
Also, that's a shotgun. That would have made a huge hole at point blank.
Yeah.
Looks like they were saving on
And
squids.
I knew they'd do that because they did that earlier in the movie with that one girl.
Yeah, exactly.
She was going to get shot, so it wasn't
Yeah, now it's overused where somebody gets shot and you don't see where it came from.
Yeah.
It's like, thanks, but you should have used that gun that came out of nowhere.
Did you use that earlier?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's her specialty.
That other person.
Yeah, she shoots people from off camera. That's her skill.
One of the things I have to say is, watching this movie, it feels like almost a work print or an unfinished movie with a temp score.
Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah.
They really needed to punch up the dialogue and the performances and the suspense.
Yeah, and for example, this scene here, it might look okay. I mean, okay, well, they're dying together. That's romantic, I guess. But it's like, it just goes on for a long time, and it's like,
yeah,
it just leaves you at a point where you, as an audience member, you don't know exactly what you're supposed to feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And reluctantly, he's like, okay, I didn't want to come back here, but everybody else did, so I know I'm late, but I'm here.
Also, there's moments in this movie where they have to escape groups of people who are just patrolling that tiny city. But then other times, James Van Der Beek can just hang around outside, sit under a tree, read a book, and nothing happens to him.
Yeah.
And it's like, so are these kids like patrolling or not?
That's such a cheat.
Yes, it is.
They show a little girl behind there, and then she jumped out.
Yeah, I know. That's what I thought. That was a little girl, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then it's always like, after the fact, they say, it's me, it's me. You should say, it's me, before you touch the person or grab it from behind. You should say, hey, it's me.
Yeah.
Why does she want to stay there? She's like, I want to stay here. No, I want to stay here. Why?
We still didn't get the guns yet.
Golly.
Yeah, they had an art. No, there was Apollo guns there, wasn't there? Still.
Yeah, there was. And where is everyone all of a sudden? They can just walk down the streets, and it's like, okay, just looking around.
Uh-oh. Blurry kids behind you.
Oh, there they are. Okay.
Oh, wait.
They come out of nowhere all of a sudden.
Yeah. 2 seconds ago, there were no kids. So this is another leader kid, that kid with the sweater with the long arms.
They all had horrible pajamas.
Where's Waldo kid?
Yeah. I've got a plan.
They should have wrangled these kids a little better when they were shooting this. They should have, gave them more directions on...
Yeah.
More character direction, like, hey, you guys should, walk like this or something. It just feels like someone shot this in, an afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, all right, kids, let's all gather here and walk towards the camera.
Yeah.
And I don't feel anything. This story they're trying to relate to another. Their characterizations between their relationship never. I never felt anything for them because their relationship fell flat. I mean, it just didn't.
Well,
I never felt like there was a past or anything like they had some kind of.
He's figured out what to do to save everybody, and he never bothered to tell anyone else.
Well, most of them were already dead. So
he figured it out a while back before they got in the truck.
Yeah. But they left him, didn't they?
Didn't he really figure it out when he was sitting under the tree reading the diary after they split up and went to the sheriff's station?
Oh, yeah, maybe that's what it is. Yeah, you're right. That's when there was the flashbacks and stuff.
But,
flashbacks to the movie that we already saw.
Yeah. There's a time in this scene where the woman says, "Oh, no, they're my kids." She was ready to kill them all in the last scene that we saw. But anyway.
Yeah.
When I was watching this scene, I wasn't sure if James Van Der Beek knew that this would save them, or is he just trying to have a last moment here with his wife? I think he figured it out, of course, but the payoff is just not as big as would be expected.
No. Yeah,
because we still don't have the reason to understand why this is going on.
Right, and it doesn't stop. I mean, I thought this would stop everything and they would be normal kids.
Right.
Is he the one who will sacrifice himself to save everybody else who's already dead?
Mm.
Is she the only adult left in the whole world now after this point?
I don't know. If this is worldwide, I would say no. But that also makes me think nobody else tried this before, give up and just go like, okay, I'm here, Yeah. Nobody else in the world tried this before. It was just like one person would end the whole thing. It just seems a little contrived.
Because he feels guilty that he killed a guy in a bar.
Oh, she's in a happy place.
Yeah, it must be nice.
She's thinking about her spirit animal like that scene on Fight Club.
Or she's thinking about how she didn't have any bullets, but these kids are taking care of him for her.
I don't get all this. None of this made sense to me.
No. The ending is really just tacked together really fast.
They should have edited here a recap montage of all of the best Dawson's Creek episode moments. Like when the kids are taking his soul, they should just see all the best moments from Dawson Creek.
She sort of reminds me of the lead actress character from Day of the Dead.
That one from the original?
Yeah.
She does look like, that same actress.
She worked with Frankenstein?
Yeah, exactly.
Where's the body?
Yeah, who knows? This doesn't make any sense.
Like they took him away, I guess.
Yeah.
They all come back, and then they're like, "We're gonna kill you." Nah, just kidding.
Okay, she's reading that page from the Jim Preacher diary again, and it's like...
But she's asleep.
Yeah, she's asleep.
This line answers very...
She's asleep.
Right. So is it the kingdom of heaven? So this was caused by God? God had a kid like...
That's what I think, yeah.
And who are the people who were subject to slavery all their lives? The kids? Is being like a kid considered slavery? Are they talking about slavery of fear? I don't understand. This line answers very little to me, and I think it's not enough to understand the movie.
Yeah. I heard the cat.
Julia, hush.
Oh, that's your cat?
Yeah, it's my cat.
Oh, she's called Julia? That's cool.
It's Frank and Julia.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow.
You've seen pictures of them, Jose, I think.
Yes. Okay,
we didn't know they were Frank and Julia, though.
Yeah.
They're like, "Hey, how's it going, neighbor?"
Howdly doodly, neighborino.
Howdly doodly.
Yeah, you thought that we would all be fixed and cured, but we just stand here and look at you and we don't talk again.
What's up with that kid's sweater?
I got
sweater.
Veins sticking out on my face. I don't know why. None of these other kids have the veins. Somebody clawed up that lady.
So they are not killing anybody anymore. They're just wandering.
They're just zombies.
Lost people. Like, did they kill most of the adults? I wish we had those answers. They kind of leave them to the audience.
I just don't understand the stares.
Are they still connected to whatever higher power is telling them to do all this stuff, or are they just kids that are homeless now and she's turning her back on them?
For some reason, I got the impression that his soul was put into that little boy. Because of that book, I just didn't.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Like
because he has the grapes of wrath.
Because they absorb
some kind of his
It does, but the shot with the book in the pocket, I honestly don't. I may have missed something, but it doesn't really add anything to my interpretation of the story. These kids
Rob,
never shown reading anything, even if they could. I mean, that kid was a toddler 10 years ago when he fell into the plague. Did one kid learn how to read and all kids learn?
Yeah.
But that was just a proposed solution with no guarantee that it wasn't just speculation. Like when one learns and all of them learn. It's like, you don't know that.
And now the music is just somebody banging on the keys that are on the left side of the piano.
Yeah. Well, my last opinion about this movie is I think the edit of the movie was bad. The soundtrack could have added so much more to it. And at its core, the story of the movie needed more. I know that there are deleted scenes. They're mostly just dialogue and stuff, and
And we had talked about this before, but there's conflicting information about what happened, between the director and the producers. And Clive Barker said he was standing up for Hal Masonberg and wanted to, fight for him and help him get the cut that he wanted. And then Hal Masonberg just left and wasn't around for the editing. So then Clive Barker said, well, if he's not going to do it, then I'm not going to stand up for him anymore. And then Clive Barker left. And then the producers just told the editor what to do.
Yeah, well,
that's Clive's version of it.
Yeah, there's very different versions. There's more versions coming from the side of the writers as well. So yeah, I mean, it's interesting that there was some sort of controversy here. I think that Clive might not have been as involved in this movie as people think.
It seems to me he was probably just more involved
with his painting and writing. I was just leaving it up for some other production assistant to take care.
Well, I mean, and I could see him wanting to stand. I mean, I believe that he would want to stand up for somebody's vision because.
I do too, because of what happened with Nightbreed.
Yeah, exactly. He wouldn't want, and Nightbreed and the first two movies before Hellraiser.
The only thing that he says is that Plague was a screw up. He trusted the director, and he didn't want to do to him what interfering producers had done over the years, like with Nightbreed. And he said, I decided I would let him have his way, and if we had to have an argument, it would be in the cutting room about the way the picture was cut.
Yeah.
So he shoots the picture and then is absent from the cutting room most of the time. Well, for example, Hal Masonberg mentions that he was with a Seraphin representative for a few weeks cutting the movie. He was always there with him. So I don't understand what's going on here.
Oh.
And then he just basically says that he asked the producers to throw in some extra money so that he could go back and do a couple of extra days shooting. But that the other producers said no, and that was the end of that. And then, of course, there's spreadingtheplague.com. There's a page there where Hal Masonberg and Teal Minton, the writers of the movie and the director, they have a very different story. And some people have gotten a copy of the director's cut. There's a 2-disc set that the director has, and he sends to some people. And let's see. I talked to him, and I was wondering if I could take a look at that. And I guess he wants to talk to me first and know what my intentions are. I feel like I'm going to take his daughter out to the prom, but let's see.
Yeah.
If I can get a look at that director's cut, if we can all get a look at that director's cut, that would be great.
It's not like Clive Barker's, has anything to gain from us, saying it's not good or whatever. I mean, if it's good, we'll just,
we'll say it's good.
We'll say it's good, yeah.
Yeah, I just thought it was weird that they added Clive Barker's The Plague, and it should have been more like Clive Barker presents The Plague.
Yeah.
It's
kind of like Hellraiser 3.
Yeah. Because don't call it Clive Barker's The Plague, because one, this story doesn't have anything to do with Clive Barker, and
Yeah.
He didn't direct it. He didn't edit it. He didn't have any. He was just a producer, and one of like 14 producers. So.
Yeah, somebody came to him with this idea for this movie, and he said, "Yeah, I'll help you get it put together."
Yeah, he probably liked the idea when he read it.
Yeah. And I think Clive had said in interviews that the movie came out a lot different than the script that he read.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For whatever reason.
It seems like the movie was edited together in a very different way to make it more like a zombie attack film.
Yeah.
And that's what Hal Masonberg kind of disagrees with. He doesn't think that's his director's vision. So
yeah.
Something like maybe in the line of Walking Dead or something like that.
Right.
I don't even know if Walking Dead was out when this movie was made, though. So I'm not.
Yeah. And then these credits again, very simple credits. Very
boring.
Uninteresting. Boring.
Yeah, they're basically telling you to turn it off.
It looks like this movie was just completely dumped in post-production, and that shows.
Yeah, it was a bare minimum effort to make sure that the movie was finished.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know of its existence until y'all brought it up.
I have a poster.
I didn't even know I heard about it.
I have a poster of this movie. Once a friend of mine had his dad had a house that was rented to a video store, and the video store went out of business, and he brought back like a big roll of posters that were hanging on the walls. He was like, hey, pick whatever you want. So I picked a few, and one of them was The Plague. That's kind of how I found out about the movie, because I was like, Clive Barker's The Plague? Wow.
Yeah.
It really, completely, it passed me by. I didn't know about this.
Well, and it was a direct-to-video movie. Which is not a big deal now, but back then, that's not good.
I was very disappointed. I was almost as disappointed as with Saint Sinner, really.
Yeah. Well, and it's around the same time, right?
Yeah, 2000.
At least Saint Sinner I had some fun with. It's bad, but it's like a guilty pleasure bad.
True.
I mean,
yeah, right. There's nothing really fun about this movie.
Yeah.
There's nobody even smiles, and the jokes all fall. Whatever jokes there are fall flat.
Yeah, I don't think it was supposed to have jokes, but that's. It just came out as, like you said, a bare minimum, just to be like, okay, we edited the movie, we put it out, that's it, we dumped it.
Yeah. And is it better to have The Plague or to watch The Plague?
I want to say to watch The Plague.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I say avoid The Plague, to be honest with you.
What's worse than watching The Plague is watching The Plague twice.
Yeah. Well, Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 17% rating.
Wow.
With one critic, David Cornelius from Hollywood Bitch Slap, he gave it a fresh review. This is the sort of horror film that hooks you from frame one with both smarts and frights. But,
he was just trolling.
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, maybe there's people out there that like this movie.
Yeah, Real Film said there's simply no overlooking the general sense of incompetence that's been hardwired into virtually every aspect of the production.
Oh, man.
That's really bad. More accurate.
Yeah. Wow.
So that's it.
It's weird. It's true. It says produced by Master of Horror Clive Barker. And this is I'm reading the iTunes description, and it says after Clive Barker in parentheses, Hellbound, Hellraiser 2, Candyman.
Mm-hmm.
Those are Clive Barker's credits.
Clive Barker didn't direct Candyman; he just produced it, right?
Right. Well, same with Hellbound.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Well, that was The Plague.
Here we go.
One down. Just one more, and that's Revelations. Hellraiser Revelations.
Yeah, which is actively worse than.
Oh boy, yeah.
Yeah, well, I think we're all gonna get some drinks together on that one.
Yes.
Sure.
Just have a good time.
Yeah, we need to do more regular episodes now to take a break from.
Yeah. We need to do a news episode. We haven't.
We will definitely be talking with more interesting people. Like Simon Sacy, who designed the Hellraiser box. We're just trying to get that interview sorted out. So.
Is it pronounced Sace or Sacy? Because now I've heard it more than one way.
Oh, it's probably Sace. I don't know.
Okay.
Honestly, I don't know the correct pronunciation of it.
I thought it was Sacy too, but now I don't know.
That's it. That's it for The Plague. Thank you very much to our Kickstarter backers.
Supporting
our
us.
listeners. Yeah.
We're almost through all the bad movies.
Yeah, and then the good ones will start.
The Clive Barker Podcast, or BarkerCast, is an independent editorial fan site and podcast that is not affiliated with or under contract by Clive Barker or Seraphim Films. This podcast and site are a labor of love by the fans for the fans. News, features, and show notes for this episode can be found at www.clivebarkercast.com. Go to iTunes and please leave us a review. Reviews really help us get the word out about Clive Barker. You can also find us on Podomatic, Xbox Music Store, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher, Double Twist, BlackBerry, and Pocket Cast. We have a Facebook page, so come on and like our Facebook page and join the Occupy Midian group for lots of discussion about Nightbreed and other Clive Barker stuff. On Twitter, we're at BarkerCast and at Occupy Midian. Opening theme by Mark Buckle.